The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Thursday, the 11th day of August, 2022. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Linda's. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sherry Vanderpool, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sherry, happy Thursday.
Yes. You see it? You see it? Friday is right there.
Oh, wow. No, I don't see it, Sherry.
Well, then you better get the vision. It's happening.
Right, I do have to make my eye appointment. Yes, you're right.
Mine's tomorrow, 9:45.
Oh, okay. I'll have to ask my partner there when is ours. Yeah. That's how it goes on this end.
Wow.
Got to be a responsible one, and then I just follow suit. Anyway, Sherry, Friday, her favorite day of the work week, folks. Traditional work week is right around the corner. Greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome the president of the Bermuda College, Dr. Duranda Greene, onto the show. The Daily Play is a name that place. Well,
I don't know if Jerusalem's going to work for me this time. Jesus.
No. I mean, I was surprised a heathen like you got one last week, but
I got a couple last week. I think I did very well last week.
Yeah.
It's this week that seems to be a little touch and go, and I'm okay with that.
Okay. Sherry, did you see yesterday there was an escaped prisoner, which I'm sure Maya will talk about in her news break, right? I'm not trying to make light of it, because let's be honest, he was a dangerous individual. He is, and what it is, and I'm not trying to focus on him. And I'm just being very serious. In one of my chat groups yesterday, one of the guys was just like, yo, man, took my son outside. Yeah, it's not happening. It's way too hot. And if anyone who knows me knows the only 2 days I do outside during the day, during the summer, is cot match, right? I don't mess with the outdoors during cot match. Anyway, so I'm thinking, okay, oh boy, broke out of prison. I'm pretty sure they have AC in prison that you don't have to worry about paying Belco, like whatever. I'm not understanding why anyone would break out of prison in the heat, the heart of the summer, just to be caught a bit later. He probably had sweat for 2-3 years coming out of it before the heat happening in Bermuda right now.
Well, and I can concur, because when I got there to Bermuda a couple of weeks ago, I about died. But I don't know. Bermuda's a different type of locked up abroad, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be trying to escape nowhere. Because, really.
I mean, it's where are you going? I mean, interestingly enough, just doing
That's the question.
Research for Bermuda Trivia not long ago, and I was looking up. I remember when we were young, the big escape was Troy Dean Shorter, right? I remember that, and he stayed on the run for quite a time and was falling in the ceiling of I want to say a relative's home. But no, I just bro, where you going? And thankfully, I believe the police caught him. I hadn't checked the press release this morning. Sanchez says, Jamal, you think there's AC in prison? Well, you're telling me there isn't. Don't they have like cable? And I mean, they have 3 meals. I was told, I shouldn't say this, but I was told certain people get locked up every Christmas because they get to have meals and so on. So at no point am I saying prison is a bed of roses.
No, if it was Casemates, if you all remember Casemates, I couldn't question whether it's AC or not. But Westgate Correctional Facility?
But he was at the farm. Do they have it at the farm?
Yes.
Okay.
I think all of them have AC. I think all of them have AC.
Folks, let me just clarify. Sherry knows this not because she's been a resident, but because of the line of work she does. I don't want you all thinking.
And my father was a prison officer.
Yes. Well, Charles H. Jefferson II says, Sancha, there's no AC in prison. Sancha,
How you know, Sancha?
Tanya Cheeseman says there's nowhere to go. Sanchez says no, they don't. Can we get confirmation whether there's AC in prison, please? Sanchez,
at the farm.
At the prison farm. Is there AC in prison? Because one would think that it's not even just about the prisoners. I mean, it's people that work there. You know, I'm pretty sure there's got to be AC. It's way too. Prisoners are still human beings. There's conditions that need to be met. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about this morning.
That sounds like something we should be.
Yeah, it should. Humanity. But we have Dr. Duranda Greene coming on a bit later, the president of Bermuda College. And, you know, when we do these shows, we do a bit of reading, you know, to kind of get an understanding of where things are across the globe, nationally in the U.S., and how it may impact Bermuda. And since the pandemic, it seems like college enrollment is dropping in the United States in particular. And I had put a post on Facebook the other day. Let me just see if I can share this with you all. And it kind of ties into the conversation. So I put this post. Don't look at my picture. Just look at the post, folks. So the post says, jobs people look down on: carpenter, HVAC, electrician, mechanic, plumber, welder, right? Jobs people look up to: social media influencer, athlete, actor, model. Jobs that keep society running: carpenter, HVAC, electrician, mechanic, plumber, welder. You all know how I feel about that influencer nonsense as it is, right? But saying about me. Question of the morning is, do you believe a 4-year degree is still worth it? Do you believe a 4-year degree is still worth it? Now, I've been vocal about this before. And, you know, Craig Simmons, the economist and lecturer at the Bermuda College, has said that he believes that the solution to our economic woes, one of the solutions, is community colleges. And he kind of explained that what you're doing is you're getting people into the workforce faster. I know there are people who love academia, formal education. I get it. Sherry has a master's degree. I have a master's degree. I get it. But sometimes we have to be honest and ask our questions. Could we have accomplished what we're doing or be doing what we're doing without that level of education? Could we have done it with a 2-year degree? What was happened in those other 2 to 4, 5 years that would have held you back from being where you are today? It's interesting because it was impossible for me to look down on electricians, carpenters, because I came from a family of people who done this kind of work. I just knew that my hands and blisters were not a great match long term. So I decided to pursue other career options. Still technical, you know, but it's not a matter of keeping industries running. That said, what are your thoughts? Do you believe a 4-year degree is still worth it? And think about it. Don't remove yourself from it. Think about long-term economy. Use Craig Simmons' example, right? Think about that. Do you think it's still beneficial long-term, not just for the individual, but your community? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm just laughing. Thank you for taking that down because I really couldn't. I was trying to stay focused, Jamal, but your picture. And I'm sure the audience was like, here's down there. Here's Jamal with. So, okay, I'm glad you took it down. I think everything has its time, Jamal. During our parents' time, it was all about hands-on industries, as you said, the electrician, the carpenter, the mason, and so forth. As we moved into the 80s and 90s and 2000s, it became the time that you and I evolved. And it was a lot of emphasis was put on make sure you get a college degree, not just, a bachelor's, make sure you get a master's. There was a time period where that was mandatory for you to get into a space, depending on which one you are. Now, moving into the era that we're in, if I had a child, I would not push them into college or formal education. I would nurture whatever their passion is because we have much more um, gateways into different things than we did in the past.
Mm,
That wasn't put in front of us at that time. I remember my dad saying, "You got a job in government." Well, he's paying for it, so I got to do something to get a job in government.
mhm,
No, and some years ago, I wished I would have pushed back
mm,
and said, "No, I want to stay in fashion merchandise, and no, I want to stay in entertainment. No, I want to stay in journalism." My father was like, "What, you can get a job at Trimham's? That's it? Like,
mm,
where we going with this?" Not understanding the future of I never even came back to Bermuda.
mm. Well,
So I
I mean,
go there.
you touch on something which is interesting because during my time they were trying to push a lot of us towards IB, like finance, reinsurance, and so on. Um, but I disagree highly with your opening remark because it's just not true that back then people were all about their hands. Today, the leading industries are all about your hands, but also math. Like, so for instance, the leading industry, at least in this hemisphere, is technology, right?
Mhm.
Silicon Valley, that requires a lot of work with your hands as well as a lot of math and, certain like physics and intelligence in that respect. So I think it's still hands. It's just different. It could be
Oh
argued that
yeah.
those industries now are what keeps the world running, along with plumbers and electricians and so on. The I just think somewhere along the way, college became a business and goalposts shifted. I think there's a racial aspect to this that no one addresses, like the elephant in the
Mhm.
room. The racial aspect is we need to get Black people in particular to start spending money on college. What happens when they do that? They put themselves in debt over 4 or 5 years. It's this thing where college degree puts you in a certain stratosphere. Well,
Mhm.
when you go and you look for that um, retail job in a department store and they're saying a minimum requirement bachelor's degree, that has nothing to do with education. We've got to at least understand that. No, on the flip side, there are people who will use the argument, well, hey, what about doctors, right?
You're right.
Don't we want a doctor who went to medical school? I'm pretty sure the Black person who performed the first heart surgery didn't go to college.
Mhm.
I could be wrong, but you all do that research, let me know. I think our minds have been programmed in a manner to make us believe we need a certain level of education to do certain jobs. I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm just asking questions of us because I think most of our opinions on formal education are developed based on the norms that we grow up in. It's like religion. I always say religion is really nothing more than the space that we were, our environment. It's
Right.
nothing more. Like if you take the majority of Seventh Day Adventists or Anglicans in Bermuda and they were born in the middle of Morocco or Saudi Arabia, the only thing that's changed is their environment, but their beliefs would differ. So I think our environment really does shape our perspective on education. And what we have to do is challenge that environment and challenge those norms to really have a thought that, maybe, maybe formal
Well,
education isn't the one answer.
and no, and I want to go back to your point at the beginning of what you said. My whole point was that things are relevant at the time of the era. So back then, I think that was relevant at that time. Now, yes, the relevancy has changed where you can include mathematicians, you can include technical jobs, you can include those things that weren't available in the 70s. You know what I mean?
But has it
And
changed? That's the question. Has the
it's
relativity changed?
it's
Or
added to it.
well, but has it changed though? Has it changed? And what I mean, has it
Mhm.
changed? I asked the question of the eldest. I haven't gotten any answers yet. When did it change where we stopped pushing young people? Because the argument in Bermuda on talk shows for years, right, has been people just moaning about the Bermuda Tech School being shut down. That's been the argument for years.
Right.
That things haven't changed. The tech school was just taken away. Well, there's nothing really stopping you from, those opportunities to learn. And if you want a tech school that bad, you go and create one. But we're always waiting for other people to do it. I'm trying to look. When I talk about this stuff, I'm thinking much deeper. I'm thinking
Mhm.
systemic. I'm thinking governmental. These situations are again, our brains are wired based on our environments, what we take in. Like it's like that episode where we were talking about media and so on. And I know we have a lot of comments, folks. We're going to get to them. We were speaking about media, and what we consume is what we naturally believe.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily think outside of making other careers seem more glorious, like sitting in an office or reinsurance, I don't necessarily think that the need for the plumbers and the carpenters actually changed much. I think that for some reason it shifted to make it seem like these are more glorious than others, and so then we started, focusing on spending this money. This is a topic that we can go on for days.
Yeah.
Do you believe a four-year college degree is still worth it? Traveling Trotty says it depends on your career goals, as some jobs require a college degree. For example, medical doctors, dentists. Kind of addressed that already.
Mhm.
Uh, and also, again, department stores require a bachelor's degree. Look, if everyone who applies showed up without a degree, what do you think they're going to do? Not hire someone? They need people. Sam Cat Play says the dynamics have changed now. Maybe a 2-year degree is just as valuable with work experience, hopefully gained in there. I don't want to negate my or anyone else's accomplishments, but it depends on job. And that's the thing. The late Laverne Ferbert and I used to go at it about this all the time, right? But Jamal, you spent all this money and your parents spent all this money. I'm not making fun of it. That's how we used to talk, right? And I'm like, but Miss Ferbert, just because I did it, I can admit faults as well.
Right.
I can admit that, we didn't have to spend 30, 40, 50,000 on that. And I could have paid attention and done what I had to do at Bermuda College and still, ended up in a same, similar, or better space. Traveling Trotty and Sean DeShields for you, sir.
As a community, we need a cross section of people in various jobs to keep the community going.
Yeah, but what does that have to do
Mm.
with a 4-year degree? That's the question. What does any of that have to do with a 4, 5, 6-year degree?
A Federal Reserve researchers study conducted that 27% of college graduates were working a job that matched their college
Mhm.
major. 38% were in jobs that did not require a college degree at all.
Thank you for that, Mr. Sean DeShields.
Mhm.
We need a whole episode about that as well, please.
Yeah.
Oh, we do. Jamaica Smith says, I think it's still necessary. It's less about the degree and more about the value of commitment to obtain that degree. However, technical skills certificates are just as valuable. Interesting.
Mhm.
For me, I will say this. I wouldn't change my college experience for the world. And it's not
Mm-mm.
really about a degree per se for me. It's more about
The
the experience.
experience.
Honestly, like it's an experience I could not get in Bermuda just staying at Bermuda College, because in Bermuda College for me, although I could have done much better, I knew a lot of people. I was in the same environment. Being outside of Bermuda, I was able to be around people who I didn't
Mature.
know. I didn't understand their cultures. I got to know different cultures, and learning in the different spaces. It was necessary. Traveling Trotty says, for Bermuda, we need to highlight the importance and value of the trades to communities. Tanya Cheeseman says, sometimes experience outweighs your degree. She goes on to say, tech school was not taken away. We offer trades at Bermuda College, and this is true.
Yeah.
They offer pretty much everything. I remember going up there, and I was impressed with the automotive part. And I'm not dissing New England Institute of Technology, where I got my undergrad, but I felt like Bermuda College's auto situation was much better, or at least on par. The only difference was New England Tech at the time had a separate campus just for the auto section.
Let me throw this out there, though, real quick, Jamal, in regard to, yes, you have all the trade skills, and you had persons older than all of us who did all these trades without certification. That to me is a whole different part when we enter into tech school. You know what I mean? So what happens to the persons that kind of learned as they went, did the apprentice and that part, to know that we need a tech certification?
I don't even necessarily agree with that, but
Yeah.
sometimes certifications seem like college to me. It seems like a business, money driven. APHIS says, I think the opportunity is present. I believe the community has taken full advantage of what is available. Sean DeShield says the average debt of graduates with a bachelor's degree in the class of 2019 was $28,950. The rising cost of college and university is clearly giving potential students pause. Sean Smith said, I just finished a 5-day workshop with Tony Robbins and Dean Granziozzi, where they were teaching people how to create and sell courses around life experiences. So bring Maya in. I'd like to see, she's the most recent college graduate of us all. See what she thinks. Good morning, Maya. How are you?
Morning. I'm doing pretty good.
What are your thoughts? You're the most recent college graduate of us all. Sherry, having graduated in the 70s, me myself like 10 years ago, and you. I'm sorry. But what are your thoughts? Do you feel for your degree is still worth it?
Definitely in some fields. Obviously, it depends on what you're going into and what you're getting into. I do say don't underestimate the power of just having like a certificate in something that shows that you worked this field or done this for so many years and your experience is a lot. But I personally, I'm grateful and glad that I got my degree and had my experience and learned what I had to learn when I was away. Definitely, like you guys said, it's the experience and the connections. I would not trade the friendships and the things I made on the university.
Yeah.
I think that's an important part, especially coming from a small place like Bermuda. At the end of the day, I think people should do what they feel is in the best interest of themselves and their community. And I don't think there's no right or wrong answer to this, but I think that it's in our best interest as a community to challenge our thoughts. I think there's value to what Craig Simmons had said when he came on the show that a 2-year community colleges are extremely helpful for our economy because it does get people into the workforce faster. So there's some things to it. Maya, you ready for the news break?
I'm ready for the news break.
All right. I'm not gonna ask you. You're gonna say it, but I was gonna ask you, did they catch your boy? But I'm pretty sure they did. Okay. By the way, would you be able to let us know if they have air conditioners in the prisons as well?
I actually tried to figure that out. I haven't gotten a response yet.
I'm gonna during the news break. I'll text a prison officer and try to find out because Sherry, she ain't asking nobody. All right, over to you, Maya.
I'm needy.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Maya Palacio, and this is the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now, topping the news story this morning, the police are reassuring the community that the escaped inmate, Antoine Anderson, has been recaptured. At around 12 a.m. this morning, the Bermuda Police Service gave the update that Anderson, who escaped from Department of Corrections co-ed facility at Ferry Reach in St. George's yesterday, is now back in custody. Now, in other news, 6 persons have been arrested in connection to several packages with controlled drugs on August 4th. Drugs like cocaine, heroin, ecstasy, and cannabis with an estimated street value of $500,000 were seized, as well as more than $25,000 in cash. Police and animal wardens also removed 8 illegal dogs in the 5 residents they searched in Smiths Parish. Detective Chief Inspector Sherwin Joseph of the Specialist Investigations Department said this operation has disrupted the drug trafficking and money laundering activities of a major drug trafficking ring in Bermuda. Now, in other news, in May of 2022, consumers paid 3.7% more than they did a year ago for the same basket of goods. This statement coming from Minister of Economy and Labor, Jason Hayward, from the Consumer Price Index report. He also noted the food sector prices have climbed 6.4% annually. It's no surprise to the community that the cost of living in Bermuda has become more and more strenuous. So yesterday, the OBA candidate, Dwayne Robinson, stressed in a press release that himself and the OBA party are hardly confident in the government's current abilities to tackle the issue of cost of healthcare premium. Mr. Robinson said seniors are struggling and Bermudians are being pushed to their breaking point. Quote, despite health reform being a top priority in the last 2 throne speeches, no progress has been made. Now, you as a community may recall that you may recall that in February of 2022, the government health strategy having a timeline from 2022 to 2027, as Minister of Health Kim Wilson focuses on a universal health plan for Bermuda. And my final report of the day is, what do you know about monkeypox and Bermuda's Ministry of Health's prevention plans? Well, on July 27th, the Ministry of Health said they were working on securing vaccines and treatments to the island. And in an interview I had with Dr. Ard, I learned that monkeypox is spreading because it has gotten into a social and sexual network that has allowed it to spread. And in contrast to earlier generations, there's not many immunity to smallpox, which is a similar virus. And due to it being eradicated, there haven't been any vaccines given to that. So that could increase the reason why there is a larger spread due to lower immunity. If you want to know more about monkeypox, you can visit my Media Maya platforms and watch the full video. Now let's look at the weather today. It's once again going to be bright and sunny, and there's a chance of early showers earlier on, which will be great because our grass is looking very brown on the island right now. And we have a high near 88 degrees Fahrenheit today, so everyone please stay hydrated. And that's all for me. I'm Maya Palacio, and this is the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now let's get back to the Daily Focus.
Thank you so much for that, Maya. I'm still trying to find out if there's AC at the prison farm and the like. Sherry, what do you have for days of the year? AC in prison day or something?
No, but today is Hip Hop Day.
Like the music hip hop?
The music hip hop.
Okay.
Hip hop has progressed from street corner to one of the most important musical genres and cultural impacts in the world. Hip hop, like any other style of music, has its roots in other forms, and its evolution was shaped by many different artists. But there's a case to be made that it came to life precisely on August 11th, 1973, on a birthday celebration in the recreation room of an apartment building in New York City's West Bronx by DJ Kool Herc, hip hop's founding father. Happy Hip Hop Day.
You know, Sherry, I must say your days of the year have been helping me. Yesterday, I met some people from Lion Country Safari. That's here in West Palm Beach, right? And I was at an event yesterday, and we were talking. So they said, "Do you know that today is Lion Day or something?" And I said, "I do." Ask me how I know. And I said, Sherry told me. And they looked at me like, who the heck is Sherry? But I just wanted to share that you helped me. You educated me, Sherry. Maya,
Just
bye.
Have a great day. Maya, you folks. Look, see, I'm learning on this show. Sherry teaching me a little something, and we're going to learn some more. We got the president of the Bermuda College coming up, Dr. Duranda Greene. Lion Day was yesterday, and Hip Hop Day today, folks. Tell your friends, tell your family, and argue with your colleagues. We'll be right back.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Hi, I'm Karen, a nurse at the old folks home. These long hours used to kill my feet until my hairdresser told me about a great place to buy a pair of clogs. Medical House. Finally, relief. They also carry uniforms in bright, bold colors, and not to mention the support stockings.
Karen, Miss Soltis bet her bet again.
Oh gosh, these days, I need all the support I can get.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed on our website so you don't miss a chance for updates, prizes, promotions, and more. And we haven't given a prize away in a while, so we may give one today. Also, if you're on the go and you can't watch, that's okay. Download the BCG Radio app, available for both Android and Apple devices, and you can listen to us every single time we go live. We did get confirmation. So basically, Bermuda's prisons are inhumane. There are no ACs in the cells. They have fans. I'm just saying.
Is that across the board though? When you say
I was told both. Yeah, I asked both.
Really?
Sherry, another reason to check that box not to go to prison, folks. All right. There's no AC. There is AC at Bermuda College, though, I believe. So we'll bring in Dr. Duranda Greene to speak about some of those benefits. That's a benefit. College, not prison. Let's bring in Dr. Duranda Greene from the Bermuda College, president of Bermuda College. Good morning, madam, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good to see you, Sherry. I remember you from way back when.
Well, I'm looking at your face and I'm like, I think I know this young lady.
Yeah, I was good friends with your Aunt Patrice.
Yes.
And my mom lives next to your grandmother.
Can I tell you?
Your grandmother lived.
Can I just say, I love the way back when part. I love that part. I remember her from way back when.
As a little girl.
It confirms so much to me. But, thank you so much, Dr. Greene, for coming on and for a conversation with us. And as you heard, we were discussing asking the audience whether they believe a four-year degree is still necessary, if not per se worth it. But I think that question comes out of the many articles that we read as we bring guests on, but also Craig Simmons, when he was on the show, Craig Simmons, economist and lecturer at Bermuda College, he actually said that community colleges are great for the economy because it puts people back into the workforce or into the workforce a bit quicker. But what do you believe as president is the role for the Bermuda College?
Well, we have many roles as the only community college on the island. First of all, we do the workforce development, our professional and career education area. We also that area meets the needs of the community quicker than any four-year institution can do or will do. Even here at the Bermuda College, we have the academic side, which is our credit area, where we have the arts and science, nursing and allied health, and business, hospitality, and technical education. Their programs are different and created differently than those that are in the professional and career education center. So that is one of the things we're able to respond. Community colleges are able to respond more quickly than four-year institutions because most community colleges will have that workforce development on. And that is just to meet the needs of the community. So you may have something at Bermuda College that you don't have at another institution, community college, because of the fact that it's needed in Bermuda, but it may not be needed in other areas that community college is serving.
Indeed.
You also have the other part, which is the transfer. And that is where students will do their first 2 years, get their start at a community college, and then transfer to a four-year institution. And a survey that was done in 2019 with an institution that was looking at the stigma attached to community college showed that 49% of all bachelor's degrees issued in the United States, students start at a community college.
Interesting. I did. So I think that we make up to it people that would probably be part of that in Bermuda. I wonder what that percentage would be in Bermuda, though, because that leads me to Bermudians literally spend millions of dollars on higher education outside of Bermuda on an annual basis. What can we do? And I say we, it's not just the job of the government, Bermuda College, but what can we do as a community to attract more Bermudians to our local community college?
Well, I think first of all, like anything, it's not just community college or education. People think a lot of Bermudians think that overseas is better. I do think that my question would be, why would you pay 2-3 times more for something that you can get locally? And we're not saying Bermuda College message is not to say that you just stay in Bermuda. We are saying start in Bermuda, and many of us have started. We did a survey in about 6 years ago and found out that over 70% of all households in Bermuda had someone that attended the Bermuda College. So we're not saying to stay here, but just to get your start here. It's a good transition period so that students are transitioning from high school where they got everyone, teachers and everyone telling them where to go and what to do next. It's a way of transition to that freedom. We also have a lot of students, a lot of people don't realize this, that have been overseas, did 1 year, did not do well, and then they come back to Bermuda College to get their second start.
Wow.
And then they go back overseas as well, because just for the fact that they have not been able to, they're not mature enough and not able to get through that freedom that they have in university. And especially in most universities, you are just a number. I'm sure many of us on this slide who have been overseas to university can still remember our student ID number, because whenever you went anywhere, that's the first thing that they ask you was what's your student ID number. When you're looking at your grades, is go to look at the board and look for your student ID number. So you become a number. Here at the Bermuda College and in most community colleges, you are not just a number. You are our faculty. We have an awesome faculty who value each student, and they do what they can, and many times going beyond the call of duty to make sure that our students are successful. And you got smaller classes. You're not being taught by teaching assistants, or you're being taught by the Craig Simmonses, the Nichika Trots, the Sean Shields, the
Denise Simons,
and all the others that are out there, Bermuda College faculty members.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely felt like just a number. Masters. I mean, honestly, some colleges have like populations the size of Bermuda, man. It's interesting. If you have any questions or comments for Dr. Greene, please send them through. We'll do our best to ask as many as possible. One of the articles I read as we were preparing for you was a report from U.S. News where figures showed that 662,000 fewer students enrolled in undergraduate programs in the spring of 2022 over the previous year, a 4.7% drop, which they say is a steeper decline than 2021 fall, right? To date, the undergraduate student body population has dropped by about 1.4 million students, or 9.4% during the pandemic. Has Bermuda College been impacted by a similar drop in enrollment? If so, what's been being done to address it? If so, like, how is the college preparing for this possibility if they haven't been impacted?
Well, Bermuda College has not just the pandemic that we're concerned about, but we also have a decline in population. As you know, we've got an aging population and we've got a lower birth rate, lowering up the birth rate. So we've been looking at this for a while. And one of the things that we've done is looking at our Professional and Career Education Center. So we're doing more work in that area and have been for the past few years. And so we're seeing, yes, we have seen a 16% drop in our enrollment over the last 2 years. But our professional and career education enrollment has gone up by more than 30%. So we've been able to balance that with our Professional and Career Education Center, which offers, under them comes all of our workforce development training, whether it be compliance, accounting, the trades, IT, cybersecurity, and all of that. And then we also have, if you're looking at the academic side, we're actually put on some new programs. So we have introduced 3 years ago, we introduced our applied science area to go along with our nursing. So we have the Division of Nursing and Applied Science. In that applied science, last year we started our lab technology program for diagnostic imaging and program, and we had 5 students in that program that are currently with us now. We also have introduced a foundation year. We find that, again, going back to why community colleges, why you should come to a community college for that transition. Some people do not want to stay for the whole 2 years. So rather than just coming and dropping out or stopping out after 1 year, we've introduced the foundation year program. And that allows students to do 1 year with us and then transfer to the UK, Canada, or the US. With their first year under their belt. With the US and with the UK, we've actually partnered with the University of Southampton, which is a Russell Group school, which would be, for those that are not familiar, that would be, those are schools that would be like similar to your Ivy League schools in the United States and your top tier schools in the United States. So we have done a foundation year program where students can come and spend 1 year with us and then transfer. So again, that transition year. So we're introducing new programs, new courses to address those issues. But again, Bermuda College also has the challenge of the aging population and the declining birth rate that we're having to address as well.
Yeah, I was wondering about the decline in birth rate because I want to say I asked about Bermuda Institute. I remember when I was young, they had 2 full classes, and I was told and got confirmed they only had like 5 or 6 graduates this year. So I could only imagine how that's impacting community colleges.
All over the outside of being more cost efficient, what are some of the main benefits of Bermuda College education?
Well, as I said previously, we've got an awesome faculty who care about the student. We have smaller classes. You're being taught by faculty, qualified faculty. All of our faculty have master's degrees. They have master's degrees in their specialized areas. They are care about the students. No one's going to care about a Bermudian student other than a Bermudian teacher. Yeah. And most of our teachers are Bermudians. We do have a few non-Bermudians who we value because it brings diversity to our faculty. But and the quality of the education. We are accredited by the New England Commission of Higher Education, which is probably one of the hardest accreditation bodies in the United States. And those are the same, and that's the same organization that have all your Ivy League schools, your Yales, your Harvards, MIT. So that's the accreditation body that Bermuda College chose to go through, because most accreditation schools are accredited in the United States because they need federal funding. That's the only way you're going to get federal funding for student loans is if you're accredited. But Bermuda College chose to become accredited to make sure that we were meeting quality high standards, and also to make sure that our students were able and are able to transfer to another institution and take those credits with them. So they're not wasting their time here at the Bermuda College for the 2 years. They're doing their 2 years and then transferring to the 3rd year of a 4-year degree program in the United States or Canada, or the 2nd year of a 3-year degree program in the UK.
Well, and that's perfect, because that leads me into my next question. There are people in the community who believe that Bermuda College should be a 4-year institution. Do you agree with this? Why or why not?
I don't agree with Bermuda College becoming a 4-year institution. However, I do agree that Bermuda College should be offering 4-year degrees in certain disciplines. And those disciplines would be relevant to Bermuda. So, for example, we have international business, insurance and reinsurance. We're one of the top communities in the world for that. We have marine science with the BIOS, and now that we have the University of Arizona that's partnered with BIOS with regards to that. So we're working with them on doing some more with our marine science program. You can do hospitality, because even though it's faltering here, hospitality is still one of the #1 industries worldwide. So those types of things. And of course, education, to make sure that we have persons who are trained to make sure that they are meeting the education needs, the K-12 needs that Bermuda has. So
Okay.
I don't believe Bermuda College should outright become a 4-year institution, but if you look at the research, many community colleges are offering 4-year degrees. And
Love
that
that.
is what Bermuda College should be doing. And I'm sure as we enter our 50th year in 2024 and our next strategic plan in 2023, that will be a conversation of discussion. The
I like
conversation
that.
has started. It means changing our accreditation status as well, because we'll have to do some
Mhm.
things differently from an accreditation status as well.
Do you think it will
Wow.
impact the accreditation in terms of not renewing it with the New England?
No, we will just have to go. What we'll have to do is do a substantive change
Okay.
request, and we'll have to do some additional things. So we'll have to make sure that we've got qualified our faculty. We have several of our faculty have. Some of our faculty have PhDs and doctoral degrees now. So we'll have to make sure that we've got the right complement, because once you go to a 4-year degree, you need more PhDs on campus. So those are the types of things. And then we also have to look at, in order for it to be sustainable, we're going to have to bring people in. And again, to also make sure the quality is there, because we don't want this all Bermudians in a class. We want to have it where people can be from all over the world. So that's the housing issue that would have to be addressed as well.
Yeah. And there we go with more needing a degree, right? You've served as president of Bermuda College since 2007.
Yes.
How has the college grown during your tenure?
During my tenure, we have based on the faculty and staff here at the Bermuda College, we've done a lot, accomplished a lot over that period of time. It's not me, it's us. So we've gone through the accreditation and reaccreditation. Our next visit is in 2025, so we were able to get the maximum on both times. The first time we went through, we got the maximum of 5 years, which is your initial accreditation. And then the second time when we went through in 2015, we got it for 10 years. So our next visit will be in 2010. We have increased our partnerships. Dr. Curtis Tweed, who you've had on your show several times, she's done a lot to increase our partnerships with institutions. So again, the University of Southampton being a Russell Group school, the Temple Universities of the world, making sure that they're all up to date and increase. We've also developed the Bermuda College Foundation. That has been a lifesaver for us when it comes to funding, because even during the pandemic, when many of our students, we surveyed our students in April, just after the pandemic started, and many of them had families that had been impacted by the job losses and things like that. So our foundation was able to kick in and was able to raise some funds for us so that no student would not be denied coming to the Bermuda College because of the pandemic and finances. And they were able to raise over $800,000, of which we're still using some of that funding now. The last tranche of it will be used this year. So as a result, during the pandemic, our enrollment did not decline. It actually increased slightly during that first year as persons were able to. And that's another thing. Increase in financial assistance has happened over the past 15 years as well, where we've got a grant that the government has committed to for several years now of $300,000. The Bermuda College Foundation has committed funds, and Bermuda College has, from our budget, has also committed funds to make sure that our belief is that finances should not be a deterrent while a student cannot attend the Bermuda College. We will go out and get private financing to help that student. So if anyone says that they haven't got finances from the Bermuda College, it's normally because it's a GPA issue, because we do expect for them to come and do their best. And your best is easy to do here at the Bermuda College because of the commitment and dedication of our staff and faculty.
Love it.
We've got some questions. If you have any questions or comments for Dr. Greene, shoot them across. Sean Smith's asking, do students at Bermuda College still learn using textbooks? If so, will the college ever move to ebooks as a way to cut costs and improve revenues?
Yeah, we are using both. It's interesting. The pandemic has had its benefits here at the Bermuda College. We have been trying to use ebooks and get online education, increasing some of our courses online. The pandemic forced us to do that. So we have faculty members who are using ebooks in their classes. A lot of their work is on Moodle, which is our learning system. So they're using a lot of technology in the classroom. We're using ZSpace, which is using technology in our automotive programs and in our science labs. So yes, we are using technology here at the Bermuda College. We've just opened up the Athene Career Development Center, which is has all the latest technology when it comes to teaching in those classrooms and that computer lab. We also have an innovation lab that has robotics in it. So yes, we are embracing technology here at the Bermuda College. Will we ever get away from books? It's interesting because a lot of students don't like ebooks because they like the touch and feel of having a book in their hand. But they have come a long way as well, because now you can highlight and do all those things that you can do on a hard copy of a book as well.
It's interesting when you talk about ebooks, because I still purchase the handheld book, and I have the Kindle app and so on. And then the option of having the books read to you, like you can even go on YouTube and have the audio book. And I'm just like, it's something, I don't know, something, I'm just not there yet. Maybe it's,
I'll fall asleep.
Yeah, yeah, someone reading it to me, I need to feel like I'm getting something out of it. And when I read it, I feel like I'm getting something out of it. I'm Sean DeShields asking, do you think the introduction of a signature school system will positively or negatively affect enrollment at Bermuda College?
Interesting question. Thank you, Mr. DeShields. I think the Bermuda College will play a critical role in the signature school curriculum. We currently now have the dual enrollment program here at the Bermuda College, where public school students come up and do courses at the Bermuda College. So some of them are full-time, some of them are part-time, and they then are dual enrolled because they're doing some courses at Berkeley or Cedar Bridge and then some courses here at the Bermuda College. And then they're graduating with some of them are graduating with their associate degree at the same time or prior to them getting their K-12 high school diploma. But I do think Bermuda College will play a role. We are involved in some of those conversations with the signature school, where we will see, I think, Bermuda College be used more by the signature schools as they develop their curriculum. So I think it will be a great partnership where students will get the opportunity to get some college credit. And it's not unique to Bermuda. Most community colleges are partnering with their local high schools to offer dual enrollment opportunities for high school students so that students can get the opportunity to get some college education. I also believe that on an island as small as Bermuda, and as the technology increases, to keep our automotive program, our electrical programs that are going to be offered in the signature schools as well. Bermuda's not got the resources or the finances where it can have all of these workshops and keep them all up to date. So I think we have to decide what's going to be done at Cedar Bridge, what's going to be done at Berkeley, what's going to be done at the Bermuda College, and all the students will go to that facility, whether it's at the college level or whether it's at the high school level, because otherwise we're not going to be able to maintain the high standards that are going to be needed to make sure that those facilities are kept up to date.
Indeed. 2007, that makes about 15 years, right?
Yes, it is.
Sherry asked you some of the things that you're proud of during your tenure. What else is it like when you look at Bermuda College as a community college? What more do you feel that you'd like to accomplish as president of Bermuda College?
One thing that we're working on now is the National Educators Institute. The National Educators Institute is we've got about 30 people, educators, working on this institute that will be that is housed at the Bermuda College. We have Ms. Rizalda Severin, who has been seconded to my office to work on this for the past year, and it will be launched sometime in the fall. but it is an institute that looks at education, and is public and private school, looking at education from a Bermudian perspective. It's 4 tiers. We're looking at pedagogy and practice. We're looking at research and scholarship, so that pedagogy and practice is what is going on in those classrooms. The research part of it and scholarship is looking at what's going on in the classroom. And instead of just going to a workshop or learning something, how do you apply that to your classroom? And then what are the results? Because the ultimate result has to be that student outcomes are better. So this institute will look at that and track that, and then start gathering some Bermuda data about what is going on in our classrooms and how do we fix that. So it's been an awesome year that we've working with the public and private school educators, principals, and everything on that. So I would like to see that get up and running. I do think the 4-year conversation needs to ramp up a bit, so that we are prepared for the next 50 years here at the Bermuda College. I also believe that our foundation, getting that, we're on a $15 million campaign. We're at just over $7 million now. So making sure that because we do need to do some upgrades here at the Bermuda College. It's an aging facility. We get very little capital funding from the Bermuda government. So the foundation is out there looking for capital funding for Bermuda. We're very thankful for the Athene Group that gave us the $3.8 million to build on and upgrade our lecture theater and the career development centers. So those are some of the immediate things that I see Bermuda College needing. And of course, as I said, we turned 50 in 2024, July 2024, and reconnecting with the Bermuda College alumni. So we're going to be doing some work about reconnecting and making sure that we have up-to-date information on our alumni, so that we can, in 2024, we can celebrate our graduates as well as with our students.
Oh, I want to be a part of the party. Can I get an invite, please?
Yes, you will. You will get an invite. Your name's already on the database, Mr. Hart.
Thank you, madam. Thank
I'll
you.
update information for you.
I'll bring you, Sherry. I'll bring you. Don't worry. You come in. You come in. But no, honestly, it's a pleasure having this conversation with you, and it's hopefully not the last one we have. We appreciate the information as a fan of Bermuda College, especially since we began this show. I'm really trying to push people towards the community college route. Something I've been very honest about, that I didn't take advantage of like I should have, and how it came full circle where I needed it just to get into graduate school. So that story in itself, hopefully it can inspire others. So thank you for taking the time and doing this, and wishing you all a great academic year as school goes soon, correct?
Yes, school starts. That's the last thing I want to leave you. Registration is now open. You can go to our website and see what are some of the new courses that we're going to be offering. We've got some new Spanish and French courses. We've got cybersecurity. We've got executive coaching. We've got, through our professional and career education, we've got special topics in biology with Dr. Kariko Loudon. We've got aquaponics. We've got our automotive program. We've just received funding to increase that and put an electrical car, or to make it looking at this electrical car, to do our part to our sustainability and to save the planet. So we will be having, the equipment has been stalled a bit, so it's probably not going to get here in time for the start of our academic year. But during the academic year, we will be, our automotive program will have the automotive. So it's a lot of things going on. Teo Deal, who's our recruitment officer, he will be in St. George's so that you don't even have to come up here to the Bermuda College. On the 16th, he's going to be at White Horse Tavern. On the 17th, he's going to be at the other end of the island at Cafe Amici. And on the 18th, he's going to be at City Hall from noon to 3:30. So we're not even asking you to come to us. We're going to come to you.
Any available online? Like, can I be Bermuda?
Some of the courses are available online, and we'll be using a hybrid model. So our students will be back on campus, but they'll be back on campus and doing some things online as well.
I might have to attend.
We do have some online courses that are totally online as well. And a lot of our offerings in the Professional and Career Education Center for Workforce Development, a lot of that is done online.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Awesome.
This is 2022 education, folks. Dr. Duranda Greene, thank you so much for taking the time, and all the best in the new academic year.
Thank you.
Bye,
Appreciate
Auntie
you. Thank you.
Dr. Dorinda.
Bye.
All right, Dr. Duranda Greene, Bermuda College, folks. If you appreciated that conversation, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. We're going to take a quick break. We're coming back. We're going to do a giveaway. And we'll wrap it up with the Daily Place. Stick with us.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
All righty, welcome back, Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamel Hartman. Thanks again to Dr. Duranda Greene, honestly, for the conversation today. If you appreciated that conversation, found it helpful, please give us a thumbs up, love, like, share these kind of conversations, the Bermuda College experience right in our own community. We're going to do a giveaway, so stick with us. Tiffany Painter says the college is doing great things. I hope they continue to improve their offerings and transform the physical site. Congratulations on all the progress. Duranda, love the excitement, says Tanya Cheeseman. Sean Smith says, keep up the great work, Dr. Greene. Christine Pierman says, congratulations and thanks to BPS and general public who helped return the escaped prisoner so quickly. Absolutely, absolutely. All right. Thanks again to One Communications, People's Pharmacy, Medical House, Lindos for ensuring we're able to have conversations like that with people like Dr. Duranda Greene. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0, great taste, no alcohol, and Bermuda Trivia, now available for purchase at Somerset Pharmacy, People's Pharmacy, Flying Colors, Caesars Pharmacy, Robertson's, Brown & Co. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Sherry, are you ready?
I am, but
right.
Say the question slow, Jamal.
All right. It's a name that place. It's a World Cup year. World Cup, the game where they kick the ball. It's football. Some countries, they call it soccer. What countries? Okay, Bermuda's nickname, right? What's Bermuda's football team's nickname? You know that?
Gombe Warriors, I think.
Yes, sir. Okay, your first year one. All right. So if Bermuda's nickname for our national football team is the Gombe Warriors, then what country's national football team goes by the nickname, watch the hint, the Socceroos?
Ruse is the hint. Where is Ruse? France?
The Socceroos. Socceroos.
The Socceroos. Oh, like kangaroos, Australia.
Yes! Somebody else said France. No. Socceroos. She got it. She got the hint, folks. She got. I ain't never been so excited for Sherry. Folks,
you saw me work it out.
Yeah. No, not Brazil. Brazil's Samba, I believe. Samba boys.
Because it did sound like ruse, like French. And then I said Socceroos. I said, oh, kangaroos.
Yeah, Sherry, you go on, girl. Go on. All right, cool. So, folks, the hashtag is the Daily Hour today. You can put the Daily Hour in for today's giveaway. We're going to give you a travel mug. Sherry, let's wrap this up. What's the? Yeah, that's the one. Not this one, folks. Your choice. Final thoughts on today's episode, Sherry, and you can put it in.
Yeah, the final. I think everything goes hand in hand, right? So, do we need a 4-year college degree to do what we love? Possibly not. And I say, whatever you're passionate about, stick with it, investigate it, find out if you need a college degree. And if you don't, then awesome. There's so many things out there that you can do that does not need it. As
Mhm.
far as Bermuda College, unfortunately, I never took advantage of Bermuda College because I wasn't present on the island at the time. However, in this day and age, they're doing big things. And I feel like Bermudians are missing this opportunity to take advantage of what is in their backyard. And I
Mhm.
just encourage people to really look at Bermuda College as a stepping stone into another phase of their careers or college education.
Yeah, indeed. I want to just repeat this. I love to ask questions. I like to challenge the thought of the norm. But in no way am I saying 4-year degree is not worth it or it's not necessary. What I am doing is really just trying to challenge what's become the norm. Do we necessarily need a 4-year degree or a 5 or 6-year degree to do what we like to do, want to do, or meet the needs of the community? That's the question. At the end of the day, we have to do what's in our best interest. That means ourselves, our friends, our community, and overall our families. As far as Bermuda College, I appreciate the time that President Dr. Duranda Greene has taken to come on the show and have this conversation. Bermuda College, they have a lot of great people up there doing some awesome things. She named quite a few of them. I eventually had to go back to Bermuda College, and I will tell any Bermudian, take advantage of it. I know there are young people who want to go away to school and go raise money, go fund me or this. Take advantage of Bermuda College. Honestly, that's the only advice I'm going to give you regarding that. Sherry, you want to do a little giveaway for the people?
Sure, because we haven't done one in a couple of weeks. Let's see.
All right, we did one last week, I think. Come on, let's
No,
give
we,
it.
no, we didn't.
No, we did one on Friday. Let's go.
Okay,
All right,
let's
who's got it?
see.
Who's got it? Who's got it? Who's got it?
Big money, no whammies.
Not big money. We can't afford to give them money. No.
Okay.
Oh, Shauna Muhammad. I think that's a first-time winner, right? Shauna
It's the
Muhammad.
first time I've seen this
All right.
name.
Folks, yeah, Ralph Burrows won it last week, Friday. And
Okay.
folks, send us an email to engage@thedailyhour.com ASAP to collect your winnings. So email, you can have your choice of a traditional mug or a sherry mug that she has over there. All right. So send an email to engage@thedailyhour.com. Congratulations to you, Shauna Muhammad. Sherry, any daily inspiration before we head off? Because I got to run.
Real quick and simple. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. And that's from Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah, believe you can, folks. Thanks again to our partners, Medical Hours, One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we will be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamel Hartman. My friends, please do make it a great, safe day. Peace.
Peace.